Did you ever notice how you promise yourself just one crisp, and then somehow the whole bag's gone? That's not you failing. That's food science succeeding. In the next few minutes, I'll show you how ultra-processed foods bypass your brain's brakes. And by the end of this video, you'll know a simple plan to take back control. You are watching ThatEasyFood. But first, what actually counts as ultra-processed? It's not just anything in a packet. When you hear processed, you might think they're the bad guys. But there's more to processed food than that. When you bake bread at home, you're processing flour into bread. When you buy tinned tomatoes, they're just cooked and sealed tomatoes. We change the properties of the original food and create something new. That doesn't automatically make it bad. Now, ultra-processed foods are a completely different animal. Think factory formulas built mostly from extracted ingredients, refined starches, sugars, seed oils, protein isolates, plus additives you wouldn't cook with at home. Emulsifiers, flavor enhancers, stabilizers, artificial sweeteners, colors, modified or reconstituted starches. This is what researchers call NOVA Group 4. So how do you avoid them in the shop? Let's do a quick label scan together. First, the first three rule. If the first three ingredients are sugar, white flour, or oil, it's very likely a UPF. Second, long list, 8 to 20 plus ingredients you don't cook with, that's a factory formula. Third, additives cluster, like emulsifiers, flavor enhancers, or sweeteners. Fourth, if the front use healthy terms but the back reads like a paragraph, that's a dessert in disguise. Fifth, texture clues. Melt in your mouth or ultra smooth often means fast to eat. Got one in your basket? No panic. I'll show you smart swaps later. First, let's break the flavor hack that makes them irresistible. You and I are wired to love sweet, salty, and umami, plus the creamy mouthfeel of fat. A touch of acid makes everything taste brighter. Brands layer in aroma compounds that scream fresh baked, and umami boosters like yeast extract to deepen the savory hit. That's why a BBQ crisp lands sweet, salty, smoky, tangy at once, and cheese and onion feels creamy and deeply savory in the same bite. Scientists call this hyper-palatability, foods engineered so one more bite feels irresistible. Then comes texture engineering. A loud crunch grabs attention, followed by a quick melt. To keep you interested, they add tiny variations, a toastier piece here, a heavier dusting there, just enough novelty for one more handful. Put it together and you get food that feels irresistible but never too much. And that's the real trick. These recipes are tuned to feel just right. That sweet spot has a name, the Bliss Point. Here's what Bliss Point actually means. The balance of sugar, salt, and fat where the first bite is exciting, the fifth still tastes great. And nothing ever feels too sweet or too salty. Hit that zone and your brain's reward system releases dopamine. Basically, nice. Do that again. Products land there through tiny recipe tweaks. A touch more sweetness or acidity, a hint of aroma, a slightly different crunch. Iterated until tasters say, that's just right. Even small shifts you barely notice can pull you toward another bite. So you keep eating, not because you're hungry, but because your brain keeps expecting the next little reward. But if your brain keeps saying yes, why isn't your stomach calling time? Let's talk fullness. Ultra-processed foods are designed to be easy to chew and swallow. Softer textures, smaller pieces, sips instead of bites. Puffed starches and fats that soften near body temperature make the food feel light and disappear fast. You swallow sooner, take the next bite sooner, while fullness signals lag. They're typically low in fiber and protein, and high in energy density. Liquid calories, sugary drinks, some ready-to-drink shakes, slide past fullness almost unnoticed. In a controlled study where people could eat as much as they liked, participants ate roughly 500 extra calories per day on an ultra-processed diet compared to a minimally processed one, and gained weight, even though menus were matched for carbs, fat, protein, and taste. But calories aren't the whole story. What about mood, cravings, and your gut? Fast sugar spikes lead to fast crashes and stronger cravings. That's the craving loop. Some emulsifiers and ultra-refined textures may change how your gut microbes behave. Animal studies suggest gut irritation with certain emulsifiers. Human evidence is still evolving. Observational studies link higher ultra-processed intake with higher risks of depression. Not proof of cause, but a signal to pay attention. Add poor sleep and stress, and your brain's "I deserve a treat" circuit gets louder. Ultra-processed foods are the easy button your brain loves to press. Are you packing lunchboxes next week? 5 kid-approved foods they'll actually eat, coming next. All right, how do you win against a lab-designed snack? Here's a 3-step playbook you can use this week. First, add before you swap. Start meals with protein and fiber, eggs with veg, yogurt with berries, or beans on toast. That 5-minute start blunts cravings and shrinks portions naturally. Next, swap like for like. Keep the ritual, change the input. Crisps to roasted chickpeas or popcorn, fizzy drink to sparkling water with citrus, a chocolate bar to 2 squares of 70% with a handful of nuts, instant noodles to a quick miso with frozen veg and whole wheat noodles. Finally, slow the bite. Pick crunchy or chewy foods, plate portions instead of grazing from the bag. Then pause 10 minutes before seconds so your hormones can speak. Here is a bonus trick. On labels, watch for 5+ ingredients you never cook with. Glucose syrup near the top, or several oils plus flavor enhancers together. Try one of these swaps this week and tell me in the comments which craving it beat for you. Ultra-processed foods are built to be craved, designed to be loved, even when they're not great for you. Before, you didn't stand a chance. Now you can recognize them fast and fight back with simple swaps. So, are you ready to swap UPFs for snacks that satisfy, not just stimulate? Which label red flag will you watch for this week? Coming up next, back to school lunchbox, 5 kid-approved foods that actually get eaten. If you like this video, let us know in the comments and tell us what other food stories you'd love to explore next. Subscribe for more delicious stories right here on ThatEasyFood. And remember, choose flavor with fullness. Your future self will thank you.